And although people don't know about you in this very moment, the world would know soon. That's how you have to look at it. That's how I look at it on certain things. Like, it's cool, okay, but just keep going. Eventually, it's gonna happen.
That's all.
You just have to keep going, and it has to be within to know, like, in a humble way, I could do it.
Bro, well, welcome back, my dude. How we doing, bro?
Good.
I mean, it's been 2 weeks, right? We started this journey, guys, and we were talking a little bit about loneliness, right? And how that takes a toll on men, especially during this time of year with the holidays, the season of giving, but more importantly, taking care of yourself and making sure that you're following through with the small routines, principles that you've been carrying out the last 10 to 11 months. So, we're sitting here with maybe 2 weeks left in 2025, bro. And I just want to start this episode off with a prayer. I think the last time we prayed was when you led us through a prayer this time last year. Yeah. So to make it full circle, I just want to talk about our blessings real quick and be able to reach out to the people that are watching this or that are listening to this and are going through stuff, emotionally, physically, mentally, and just know that you're not alone, first and foremost, and there are people out there that are willing to give care and love for the things that you're going through and be able to help you maneuver through that, specifically in what we're doing today. So if we can offer you some insight or just, give some good vibes for the next 40 to 45 minutes, that is accomplishing both of our missions for what BHD and Keep Grwng stands for. So I'll ask us to bow our heads and close our eyes and just say, Father God, thank you again for bringing us to this point in our lives, to bring us good food, good people, love, care, and an understanding of what it means to go after a purpose, being able to be blessed with a gift that is of service to people. And even though in times that we are struggling with our depression, with our anxiety, with our physical health, I pray that anyone that is going through those three things, dear Lord, they're able to see a light at the end of the tunnel and to be able to put their heart and their soul into prayer, into their faith. And even though they may have tough days, they realize that you are good, you are loving, and you are caring, dear Lord. So if you can watch over for all of us in these next couple of weeks going into 2026 and just continue to take care of us and do everything that you've been doing, dear Lord. Amen.
In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
But to get into it, bro, I know we're going to stay on theme, like I said, about the loneliness talk and whatnot. But I was listening to a podcast and he was talking specifically about how there's been a decline in men having manly figures, or in this case, male figures in their lives. And we've gotten to a place to where the older generation has became content with having money and not being of service to the younger generation. And he was showing and talking about numbers on how that's statistically making an impact in the younger kids nowadays, with them not knowing how to grow up with masculine qualities, how to go from having something hit them hard in life and continuing to persevere and keep going. So I wanted to take some time today to first off, talk about some of the wins that we've seen in our separate lives and really dive into what it means to go into 2026 with an emotional capacity of being mature and understanding and having patience and presence, compared to being result driven, and something may not happen your way doesn't mean you need to crash out all the time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So first and foremost, I want to ask you the question of, what is something this year that you put your mind to that ended up working out for you?
Yeah. Well, for me, and it's probably something we talk about often, but for me, it's been travel.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
And so just having a mindset of minimal to new countries and actually doing that. And I think it's just a testament of, these are things that I've written down prior, things that I have on my whiteboard in my room, and actually like doing the things for the manifestation of what I put down to actually come into fruition. Like, I think it's something very special about setting goals and then actually obtaining it, because through your journey, whatever it is, there's going to be so much life that happens that you don't know was like in the middle of that.
Absolutely.
But you still have a goal in mind. And so despite whatever you go through, the different things that happen through life, being able to still accomplish those goals or whatever it is, for me, it was being able to travel and do certain things. I can reflect back on that and be like, despite dot dot dot, still being able to accomplish. And I think that's motivational for anybody that has aspirations and goals and endeavors that they're looking to accomplish, and they still accomplish it despite all the different nuances and the uncertainties that life throws at all of us, and still accomplishing certain goals. There's something to speak to for that. And so for me, reflecting back on things like that and being like, I was still able to accomplish specific things that I wanted to do despite just life. I can reflect back and be like, it's truly a blessing.
Yeah, bro. It's nuts to think the things that we put our minds to and writing them down, you know, that's all part of the process, right? But managing life in such a different way to where we all have busy lives, you know, like there's not one life that is more busy and more important than another.
For sure.
But I think from the values of just being an everyday living human being, we all come with similar situations. We got to be able to eat for ourselves. We got to be able to take care of ourselves, go to sleep. And on top of that, still find time to pour energy into the things we enjoy doing. So when we look at it, you added value into your life where it probably wasn't necessary, right? Like traveling isn't necessarily something you have to do for yourself to live, but you took it the extra mile to be able to say, look, I'm going to save this much money. I'm going to go ahead and take these sacrifices so I can put myself in an experience that a lot of people cannot say nowadays that they're able to do, travel 2 countries in a year, much less one. So that's pretty amazing, bro. That's a blessing.
Thank you. And I think truthfully, and hopefully this is motivational for anybody, anybody that's listening.
Sure.
And I want to be very clear about this. Like, I know there's a certain perception, we're speaking just on travel. There's a perception that you need a lot of external funds to be able to do it. You really don't. And I'm saying that honestly. Like, we were having a conversation off camera just in regards to, we were making a comparison about something, but you don't really need as much as you probably think you need to travel. You really don't. And you don't, it's not based on having a lot. It's just based on what you do with what you have.
Yeah.
And I say that to say, like, for example, you get a plane ticket, you get a place to stay. Those are really the only 2 things that you need. And you can, with searching and being diligent about certain things, it's really not that, like, it's really not that extreme. Everything after that is a plus. Whatever dispendable funds you use after that, like for me personally, I don't spend that. I came back with hundreds. And I say that in a motivational way. I'm not out there just splurt. Like when I travel, I'm not traveling to, and we're just using this example. I'm not traveling to splurge. I'm traveling to gain an experience while I'm there. So I'm not buying things while I'm there. Yes, food. But I'm not really, it's more about, literally, everything is new when you're traveling. Walking down the street is an experience. Yes, you can do certain things and go to things that are touristic or touristy and things of that nature, but every single experience that you have while you're somewhere new is an experience within itself. So I just say all that to say, like, you don't need that much to be able to have just certain experiences. We can talk about that for traveling or just other aspects of life. It's really just about your mindset and your perspective on what that goal is, how bad you want it, and just being diligent about it and being like, this money, this bread, I'm setting aside for this. I'm not looking at it for anything else. This is specifically for that. And then you can build off that, grow on that, and that's for whichever endeavor you have. So that's why I say it's a mindset. It's not about, oh, I need all of this to go there, or when I get this right, I can go there. No, it's about how you're looking at it. I'm gonna put this aside every time I get paid. Instead of going and doing this and going out, I'm going to put that 100 here. I'm going to put that 50 here. I'm going to put that 25 here. That adds up. So I say all that to say it's just a mindset. And once you start to maneuver with a certain mindset, anything you want to do is accomplishable.
Yeah, bro.
Accomplish anything. So I'm not doing anything that's super extreme. I just have a certain mindset. And my mindset is, I'm going to do this. And my day-to-day is, I have this goal in mind. So, all right, we're about to go somewhere. I might take this amount. I'm not going over this amount because I have this for what I'm about to do. So it's a mindset. It's all a mindset. And once you maneuver on your day-to-day with the mindset for whatever your aspirations are, you'll be able to accomplish it.
Yeah. And I think, there's guys out there that would look at your lifestyle and be like, man, that's extreme, you know, in other ways. So I think it comes down to like prioritizing money, right? Like when we look at what we truly idolize and what we truly favor in our lifestyles, it's what our money goes to.
Absolutely.
Time and time again. So a lot of people can make the argument of like, oh, well, if I just had more, which is usually the argument that a lot of us guys make is if I had this, or if I was just able to have this skill set, rather than thinking all these people that are wealthy, right? If we're looking at the wealthiest men in the world, they're not wealthy because they have a lot. They're wealthy because they do with what they have. And it took me a long time to understand that that was the case rather than the other side of it, which is everyone thinks the more you have, the more is yet to be spent and to be free.
Absolutely.
So I do agree with you a lot in that sense of being able to switch around things in your life, switch around habits, add habits, take out habits to be able to fund lifestyles that work with your day and age. And I don't think it's wrong for a 22-year-old man to have certain things in their life, but not have the same things when they're 30. You know, it's an evolution of being able to look at money and view it a specific way. And then you start to gain more respect for it as we get more experience in our lives. So I love that, bro, because guys that are watching, I feel like we tend to have a very egotistical mindset when it comes to money and how we decide to spend it. When a lot of people think when I got to travel, it's time to flex. It's time to go out, spend a lot of money at these restaurants, want to buy new fit, whether it's, going out to the designer store or whatever you do with it, when a lot of times traveling is about the experience. It's like walking down the street. It just feels different.
Everything is.
So,
and if because when we speak from a motivational standpoint so that when people listen, they can actually apply it. So let's just use this as an example. If we have two people and they both have $200, but their mindsets are different. One person has 200 and they're all both going to the same places. They both have $200. And one person's like, I have 200. They go somewhere. They spend $25. They go another place. They spend $50. They go somewhere else. They spend another 25. They spend another 50. Now you're dwindling it's dwindled down. Now you're pretty much all out. Whereas let's say the other person has their 200 and they're like, I'm going to spend $10. That's for the day. Now what? You have $190 left. Then after that, the next day, I might get something to eat. I might get something here and there. I'm only spend $20. Now you're at what, 170. So I just use that example to say it's how you look at it. It's your perspective. It's your mindset. That's how I'm looking at things in regards to how I'm breaking stuff down. To whereas wealth is in the mind. So with that same 200, who's really wealthy? The person with the wealthy mindset. They both started with the same playing field, but one person had a mindset of spend, spend, spend. Another person had a mindset of, no, let me break this $200 down. Very minimalistic. And then you might end up coming back with money. So I say that in a motivational way of, for one, that's how I think. That's how I operate. When I go different places, that's how I'm breaking the day down. I'm only eating one time a day, getting snacks throughout the rest of the day. Other than that, I'm exploring, I'm traveling. What am I spending a whole bunch of, for what? For what? The only bread I'm spending is on getting something to eat. Other than that, what do I really need to spend money on?
That's true. Yeah,
Truthfully.
for sure.
Unless I'm going somewhere and it's to sightsee or something where there's an entry fee. Other than that, what am I just aimlessly spending money at? So hopefully this is an example. It can be motivational and it could be applied in a sense of this is how you break things down. It's a mindset. It's the same amount. So I say that to say you don't need that much. It's a mindset. If you break it down, you can do things. You can travel. You can go explore. You can have certain things. If you break it down and look at it like, okay, I'm going to break this down to a minimal fraction. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to break it down. It's all a mindset. Once you do that, that's how you save. That's how you're able to keep things, to do things. It's all a mindset, truthfully. And I hope whoever sees this applies this because it's a real example of how you're able to do things. If you get it and then you just splurge, well, you might be able to get it back, but it's the mindset of once you get it, you just relinquish it. And it's going to be hard to really, really obtain and gain value and momentum with that type of mindset. So having the mindset of, no, yeah, I have it, but so what? Act like it's not there, or put it up and act like it's not there, or act, just break it down. It's a wealthy mindset. And that's a mindset that adheres to just progression and forward movement. So I hope that can be helpful for anybody that's listening.
Yeah, bro. I think the emotional awareness is a key component with that, which, like I said, we were going to talk about a lot today. But just being aware in general, right? Like we can be aware emotionally, we can be aware in just our surroundings, we can be aware with managing money, but the emotional awareness to have when we want to spend money is pretty ideal too. Like when we think about it, we usually make purchases when we're feeling a specific type of way.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of our driving forces in buying things or making impulse decisions is, are you hungry? Are you tired? Are you mad?
Yeah.
Those are like the three big emotions that we can think of. And I feel like, again, having an ego from a man's perspective, it's just so different because it can really make or break certain decisions you're making in your everyday life.
Yeah.
So aside from like the money talk of all this, just having the emotional awareness to be like, yo, look, I'm not doing good. Whether I feel insecure about something, whether I feel like I was tested in something and I failed, how can I sit back and really think about the next decisions I'm about to make in these very moments? You know, whether it's, does it make sense to go buy these $150 pair of shoes right now? Because I saw a dude with them and that makes me want to get them because I know I can attain that. Or it can be as simple as I'm hungry. Maybe I spend $10 on a meal rather than go buy a $60 meal.
Yeah.
You know, so like things in that motion. When did you feel like there was a switch for you in your adulthood or in your manlyhood? And how did you find that? And you were able to kind of like notate that was something that you were able to evolve from there?
Man, truthfully, and I'll be very honest about this, man. I've had this mindset since I was a kid.
Wow.
Truthfully, but I'll say it this in the sense of they're just, for all of us, we go through certain things that can shape how you interpret it or move forward in life from certain situations. So there were, just for transparency, there were just things that happened when I was younger to where I was like, I know I need to have money for myself. I need to have bread for myself. Like counting on or looking or reaching or thinking other people, like that's not the reality. So I need to always make sure that I have bread for myself. And I think truthfully, I'm gonna always give God the glory on it because I believe it's a gift, but it's also, it wasn't something that was taught. It was situational awareness and the realization of, oh, nah, you need to have bread. You need to have bread because if something happens, who are you gonna go? Like, it's on you.
Yeah, for sure.
It's on you. And so, like, I'm truly thankful to Jesus for, even though certain things transpired, it gave me a mindset of, nah, you need to always have some money. You need to always have money saved. You need to always be smart with your money because, I mean, even it says it biblically, a fool and his money shall depart. So that's a law to where it doesn't matter who has the funds. It doesn't matter if you're 12. It doesn't matter if you're 35. If you're foolish with your money, it will depart from you.
Yeah.
And so I had a real understanding of that concept from a very, very minute perspective young. Of course, it developed as I got older, but from a young perspective, it was, I need to have my own money.
That's wild, bro.
And I need to keep it. So, yeah, it's just been something, I say truthfully, around 13, 14.
Wow.
That's when I realized, like,
Dang.
You can't, like, I can't just be out here broke.
Yeah.
Like, just flat, zero, nothing like that. That just can't be my reality. So,
yeah, that's crazy, bro. Because, like I said, I'm just so big into a lot of these like guys that will get on these shows or get on their platforms, and coming from an educated standpoint, right, where they've built a business for themselves, or they've been able to work so hard where they fall into money, and they talk about how there's not really like a true like way or a practice to get out of that mindset of coming from nothing and being able to view it as money is precious. Money is something that isn't yours. It's attained from God. It's a gift that is given to you that isn't never going to be yours. It can be taken at any moment. But my whole point in this is, they say like it's 50-50 on the type of guy that will decide to see that at a given time in their life, even though they don't come from money, like your situation. It's not a given. Just because you don't come from money doesn't mean you're going to wake up the next day and be like, oh, wow, like $5, I'm going to make this, sustainable for 3 days. No, they say it's quite opposite sometimes. Like you have people that don't come from money, which, I mean, I could even put myself in that. I don't really, my parents were lower middle class, we weren't poor, but they were able to get by. But they didn't necessarily have the education behind teaching us all the time of what money really was. Sure. They taught us enough, right? Mm-hmm. But I think I did go through an age which it didn't fall on them at that point. I was already out of the house, but I didn't even understand up until like I was 23, 24 of what money actually was and how to move around with it and how to actually be strategic with the type of money that I had. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it can go guy to guy and situation to situation. But I think, like you mentioned, the mindset of just being able to look at something tangible and say, from a biblical aspect, this isn't mine. Absolutely. So if this isn't mine, how am I going to make sure that it's doing the bare minimum of taking care of my body, you know, and being able to do things in my life that I enjoy without it being misused. Yeah. And finding that happy medium, because we're going to fall into certain things that we really got to pay for. But I think the way you handled it was perfect, you know?
I appreciate that. And I think it's two things. I think one, most people are going to have to be in situations to where, unless they just have a certain mindset, innately or already, something is going to happen to where they realize like, oh, I need to be smart with my brain. Sure. Mm-hmm. Like, because if you're not, again, a fool in his money shall depart. That's regardless of it for man or woman. Mm-hmm. If you're just quick to spend, to let it go, well, then you're going to constantly be in situations to where you're like, I need money. So it's a mindset. But I also think you stated it very eloquently. Like, the reality is we're only stewards over our money. Like, it's not ours. Like, the earth is the Lord, like, and thus that's in it. So anything that's here that we receive is from God. Like, if we're asking for I want to say this truthfully. If we're asking for more things from God, how can we ask and we're just frivolous with our money? Yeah. Or frivolous with the things that we have.
Oh, that's good.
How can you say you want a new apartment or a new car or whatever it is, but the car you have is junky. Mm-hmm. It's never washed. The crib that you stay in, it's never clean. Mm-hmm. There's stuff all over the place. Mm-hmm. You want more money, but every time you get money, you spend it.
Preacher man over here.
But it's just real.
No, yeah, no, absolutely.
Sure. It's like, I'm not trying to sound preachy, but like truthfully, it's like, nah, how can, even though these things are biblical, which that's ultimate, but it's like, these are just like universal laws at the same time too. It's like, I was at church Sunday and the pastor was like, which is like, you could jump off of a balcony and act like something's not going to happen, but there's a universal law of gravity. So however you want to figure that out, that's to you. That's up to you. A good point. But there's a universal law of gravity. You jump off this building, you're going to hit the ground. That's just the reality. If you get money and you spend it frivolously, you're going to be broke. That's just a universal law. There's nothing that's going to come in between you spending and having or not having. So it's just having a mindset. But I say that to say, because I don't want to be long with it, usually people are going to have situations to where they have to realize for themselves, like, all right, let me start being smart. Mm-hmm. And I don't think sometimes it doesn't come with having a whole bunch of financial literacy, even though one should obtain that. It's just having a mindset of, let me just save. Yeah. That's the first part. That's when I was 13, I didn't know anything about anything financial other than I need to have money saved. So that was a mindset. Save. I'm out with my boys, out with my friends. And then sometimes it's like, I got you. Don't worry about it. Because I have it saved. Yeah. I know we all in this situation, but I have something. I have it. And even though I'm doing this, I still have more saved. So it's that mindset of like, nah, I need to have bread. But a lot of times, if one doesn't take or bestow that mindset upon themselves, it's going to take life of just being frivolous. Being frivolous with their money or just acting loosely with whatever they have for a realization to occur to be like, oh, yeah, I need to smarten up.
Yeah, for sure. My parents taught me how to save. I just didn't do it very well when I was early 20s. So yeah, you got to go through it. Yeah, you got to go through it. Absolutely. And I think it's a counterbalance, right? Like with everything, there's if something goes up, it must come down at a certain point. So I think that principle just applies to everyone's life, specifically for guys in different moments. But I think money is such an easy one to talk about for us because, I mean, it comes from an emotional standpoint sometimes, the things that we buy. And then we realize when we look up, it's like, do we actually need all this stuff like consumerism? I mean, come on, bro, I don't need all this stuff that's in here. Like if I really, and here's a conversation that I have with myself that I feel like if you're a guy that, you know, likes taking pride in certain things and likes having smooth things, like, yes, you're going to spend, you're going to spend money on stuff. But I've told myself there's a few situations that I've talked to myself independently, one-on-one, that I would do the most for. And if it really came down to me really needing funds, in order for me to stay here, right, without going back home, without asking for help, it's get rid of everything. Shoes, clothes, equipment, like sell it. That would go first. That would, before I even thought about moving back home, be like, Mom, Dad, like I need you to bail me out. Can I come home and stay with you guys? It would very much be everything in here out. Like I got 4 walls, I got 2 pans. Like I'm down to do that. If it got to that point, knock on wood, you know what I'm saying?
Sure,
so like,
sure.
I'm okay with accepting that at any given time, there's going to be something that comes up, maybe not to the extreme, right? But that you got to get back into a place of grounding yourself.
Absolutely.
And especially if you're not thanking the Lord for like, yo, all this in here isn't because of me. It's because, like you mentioned perfectly, I had a literal 400 square foot room that I was doing my best to, keep my laundry done, keep my dishes clean, just making sure that I took pride in having that stuff, making sure my room looked smooth with the stuff that I had, to get to the point that we're in now. And I think if you maneuver yourself that way, you're going to see a lot of good things come, man.
Absolutely.
Like going through I remember there's time I was living in Masoff, Alma School. And if anyone knows anything about Arizona, it's like living in Masoff, Alma School. Like that's a little bit of the hood right there, bro. Like that's part of the stomping grounds to what you got to go through to look up and be like, whoa, like we really did it. Like we really did it. So, good conversation about money and about emotional awareness when it comes to that. I know you had mentioned, which I appreciate you for talking about, bro, some of the wins and you're traveling. Like as your boy and as a friend of yours, dude, I'm proud that you're able to experience that.
Thank you.
I think more from the stance of like when you have people in your life that say they're going to do something and actually do it, it's motivating for myself in other areas of my life to be able to look at the things that I want to get done and be able to be like, look, if Julian puts his mind to that and does that, man, anything's possible. Like seeing that success story happen in your friends' lives and your family life, it's like, okay, perfect. Like I know this is going to work out at some point. So, to touch on mine, I would say the big ones this year was I was really trying hard to make sure that I was able to land a couple of brand deals that align with my lifestyle. I think in total we landed about 2 to 3. And man, that was such a blessing to be able to experience that. You came with me on one of them, which I'm blessed that you're able to.
Yeah. Cool experience.
And then there's one more before the end of the year that we're going to tap into, bro. I don't want to talk too much about it before it happens, but just my next thing that I really want to open myself up to and challenge myself is being of service into people and to giving people an experience that they haven't had in a while. And I think that's coming from such a loving place. As much as I enjoy meeting people, as much as I enjoy being, around a group setting that has positive vibes and just good energy, I want to be the one to initiate that and to be able to host something that is more than just a vibe. It's like a movement. It's an experience. And I want to get that into the masses at some point. So I think what we're about to do before this year end is it's so big, bro. And it's a blessing that we're able to have certain spots, certain opportunities to do the thing that we're about to do. But man, just being able to know that I'm about to cross that one off my list is such a loving experience. And I know it's coming from a good place. So those two for sure are the ones that stick out with me the most. And like I said, it couldn't happen without good people around. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. That's a blessing, man. And like to speak to for one, that's because you're in the space of content. So the first one, that's a blessing. That's what comes with it. And that's one of the perks of like growing is having partnerships and brand deals and things like that. So that's a blessing. For the second one, which we know eventually people will find out, but like, man, and we spoke about this, but I definitely believe with the vision, man, like this could like really become massive, man. Like, there could be real for emotion in a space to where it's like, it's not really like here. You know what I mean? Like it's not here. Like it's a niche thing, but it's very, very like it's needed. Like it's needed. And in this climate that we're in today, like society, like it's needed, like for real. So eventually, viewership you all will see. Eventually, maybe you'll be here for it on a different scale. But I do believe this is a space to where it's like genuinely. And if I didn't believe it, I wouldn't say this at all. But I definitely believe like this is something to where it's, for one, it's needed. It's like, yes, it's niched, but it's something that I believe people, like we've spoken about, are looking and desire to like have. Like, you know what I mean? Like the typical just having certain experiences, it's starting to like dissolve.
Yeah, bro.
Just because of how like repetitive it is, how repetitive and how truthfully, this isn't a word, but how non-quality a lot of other things are.
For sure.
So having this that's really quality and it's really of substance, bro, anything that's of substance takes off, truthfully. So yeah, man, like this is something like it's gonna be cool to see like the maturation of what this becomes.
Dude, I appreciate all the kind words, man. And I think like having that support is what pushes my ideas to get out into fruition, first and foremost fruition, and then be able to see them grow past the fruition stage and continue to grow consistently. So that's where it's like, it gives me goosebumps to think about. And I know it's been a while since I've had like an idea that's really sparked that interest other than what we're doing right now. But I think from a guy's standpoint, right, it's like, dang, and I'm not saying this to toot our own like horns or anything, but when I feel like we talk sometimes, there's guys that watch this and they're like, bro, that they have such great ideas or they have such like forward vision ideas that have nothing to do with them. How do I get in that spot? And I think the easiest way to talk about that and to kind of carry this into our last conversation for the night is, you know, finding your purpose. What does that look like? Ironically, at church for us on Sunday, pastor talked about how your purpose is given to you when you're born, right? Like we all have God-given purposes that sometimes won't come until we're actually ready for it. That can come through, you know, through darkness. That can come through going through a specific situation that you're able to open and be like, you know what, I figured it out. And that figure it out moment is so beautiful. And the more you keep seeking in the right ways, it says that God is going to bestow down on you the purpose that you are able to go and understand and be able to be great at consistently throughout your life. But like you mentioned earlier, you can't go through that and experience that until you go through some type of hardship. Like to really understand what your ask, what your why is, you ask, you shall receive, but it's not the things that we always want to receive, you know? So with that to be said, I think first and foremost from my end, if you're looking for a purpose right now, keep looking. I would say keep looking, keep praying, and really do a self-diagnosis of what it is that you're good at doing and understand how that can be applied into being of service to people. I think both you and I are able to look at the things that we've done, you on the traveling aspect, and be like, yo, look, if I can do this coming from the place that I came from, anybody can do it, which gives inspiration and motivation to other people. And I think that's a key component into doing some of this stuff. But I'll end with this. I just want to make sure that when you find that purpose, just because it doesn't work out, just because there's only 2 people that believe in you or nobody believes in you at all, it doesn't mean that you stop. It doesn't. You keep going. You be consistent. And I would say give it 6 months to a year, man, and really see where you get with it. Because that's when the real information, that's when the real understandings of what that looks like comes into play. And you'd be surprised if you finished out a year of doing that exact thing.
Man,
you know,
you just said it. Truthfully, the reality is when you have a dream or aspiration, nobody's supposed to believe it.
No, bro.
It's just like a
crazy
dream when you go to sleep. A lot of times you could have a dream and you wake up and you don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you know the dream that you had. It's literally it's no different than that. If you have a dream, it's your dream. Now, sometimes people can see it like, oh, I see what you're looking to do. I see the vision, but it's still your dream. So yes, some people have more of people seeing their vision in a beginning stage than others. But just because you have a dream and nobody understands, I don't think people speak about this enough. Nobody is supposed to understand.
No, bro.
We act like people are supposed to understand our dreams. Sometimes, yes, they might. Your boy might, somebody else might, your girl might, whomever. But oftentimes people get deterred because they're like, man, nobody gets it. They're not supposed to. Once you start working and the manifestation starts to like manifest and starts to actually materialize, and then people say, oh, I get it, that's when they'll get it. But until that, don't think people are supposed to get it in the finite Genesis beginning part of your aspiration.
For sure.
It's not, but people feel like that, like, man, people don't, nobody understand. Like, they're not supposed to.
And it's not really understanding, it's validation, right? Like, I think a lot of people get very insecure with the dream of like, is this too big? Or is this going to make me look weird or look dumb? And then they tell somebody, they're like looking for the validation. Their homie's like, honestly, bro, that's not cost efficient. That doesn't even make any sense. You know nothing about that. And then it deters them when in reality, it doesn't matter what they think. Yeah, bro.
You have to do it. And that's it right there. Like, nobody is supposed to. Now, some people might, but the reality is the key word is supposed to. Nobody is supposed to understand your vision. So I hope people can alleviate that from the initial mindset or whatever aspiration they have of believing or thinking that people are supposed to understand what venture or journey they're supposed to take off into. It's like a lot of people think because I travel solo, like, man, you're crazy. You're doing all this by yourself. It's like, well, for one, who else is going to go? Like, if I don't have that mindset to be like, I'm going to go, what am I just supposed to wait around? So I hope people can understand, like, no, go do it. And on your journey, you'll meet other people. You'll motivate people. People will see. People want like, but you have to go and just do it. Like you said, you can't wait for the validation because some people are going to hate.
Yeah, for
some
sure.
people are going to see the idea and be like, who does he think he is? Man? Who does she think they are?
No,
and
definitely.
really in their mind be like, man, I wish I could do that. So you have to, if you are going to partner or align with somebody, they have to be on the same type of time as you holistically. If that's not the case, I mean, loose lips sink ships. Keep it silent and work. That's the reality. Keep it silent and work. And then people are really going to start hating when they see it. But that doesn't matter. The reality is people aren't supposed to understand your vision. But they'll eventually see it once they start seeing you steamrolling and things start to like materialize. But yeah, can't worry about people understanding what you're trying to do. No, you just have to go for it.
I think that's a big key to look at right now, bro, especially with the end of the year, right? Because we got a lot of guys that are going through like, oh, what's my New Year's resolution type thing? Like very stereotypical, very over the top. But in reality, a lot of things that you are going out and setting off in your ventures and your dreams and your aspirations shouldn't be talked about early on. That's why I said I'll give insight on what I've had conversations with the people that are in my circle, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you exactly what's going on, behind the scenes. But a lot of things aren't meant to be talked about. And I think social media does have a little bit of a play and an impact with, we always think we should be sharing and sharing and sharing every little thing that's going on in our life. And for me, I curate my stuff to, you see what I want you to see,
Absolutely,
right?
for sure.
And people can say that's manipulative, or you're just showing what you think is your true version when there's somebody else behind you in your closet. No, the realistic thing is I want people to see what I want them to see, because the people who are close to me know exactly who I am day in and day out, and that's the way I want it. Not everyone should have access. Not everyone should be able to know what your $1 million dream is, because when they do, and God talks about it perfectly. People that are on the wrong side of not being a believer can have just as much impact
for sure
in your life if you are out here just blabbing away about what you're going to do next year, what you're going to do in 5 years, what your next plan is, or they might take it and actually do it better. You know what I'm saying? So I think what gets us in a hole is when we're in a position of power, we're in a position of like, you know what, I'm going to stick my chest out more and I'm going to talk about all these things, whether it's to a woman, whether it's to friends, whether it's to some random stranger. You overspeak and there's no work to follow.
Yeah.
So that way, when one thing that doesn't go your way, let's say a week, a month, a year in, and it finally falls through, you're like, I tried. When in reality, you didn't try. Something just came up and you stopped.
Yeah. Put the cart before the horse.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Wrong.
So I would really urge guys specifically to tailor what you're sharing with your people. Honestly, I've been working on this vision and idea that we're about to do for, like a month and a half now, just trying to think, plotting, brainstorming, thinking of names, thinking of ways we could do it, thinking of people that could be, brought into it. And at some point, planning on the flip side of it can't just be your only thing. It's time to do.
Yeah.
Being able to embrace failure to the utmost and be able to look at it as an experience and be able to learn from it, man. So that's really what I got to say with that.
And it's just this is a branch off of BHD for real.
Yeah.
Like it really
It is, bro.
It's just different branches that come from like the, what is it? Like basically, what is it? It's a movie that I'm thinking about when they when they call it like oracles, or like not the oracle, but like when they call it like the hub, and then there's things that branch off of it. But BHD is
send me that one. Yeah.
And then it's like there are different things that can branch from it.
Talk to them, bro.
So it's like that's what it is, truthfully. So yeah, that's the blessing. Yeah.
And I think the amazing part about it is still to this day, as much as I have found purpose in a lot of things and I have found something that I'm aligned with right now, man, I can't sit here and call it God's purpose. Like I really can't, because if he pushes me in a different direction, let's say, I'm going to shift.
Yeah.
Does that mean this stuff doesn't necessarily come with me? Who knows? It could, it couldn't.
Right.
But I'm not attached to anything right now, bro. And I think that's something that's so masculine to accept at being 28 years old in my life is I'm not attached to anything. I used to be attached to results, cars, shoes, a way of living. Now I'm like, look, this sounds cool. And first and foremost, my forward thinking is, how can I bring someone else in this experience and give them something that they probably haven't experienced before? Yeah. And I think when you're working off that mentality, again, like the pastor talked about, if you're working from an active service mindset, you can't lose. Because even the thing that happens, and let's say you be of service to 3 people, that's not a loss. You were of service to people and made a difference in their day. That's you're evangelizing.
Yeah.
You're speaking through action and love and care. And again, a lot of guys are so scared to just stick out that hand to one person, even if it's not faith related, right? Let's just say even just being able to hold a door open for somebody. They're not doing it because they're a jerk. They're doing it because they're scared.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true, man. But it just ties into like just going for it.
Got to.
That's all it is. That's all we're
really
speaking about. Just going for it, because you don't know. We don't know the future. All you can do is plan, prepare, and go for it, and then things will steamroll. But yeah, man, there's a lot of blessings to come. There's a lot more things that are gonna happen. There's blessings that we don't even know that are gonna manifest. That we don't know about.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they're in the future, and we're in the present right now. So. All we can
be
do
excited,
is keep persevering. Yeah,
it's being excited, bro. Yeah. And I got one more question before we clock out here, but this could be, and that's what I'm saying. This could be our last time me and Julian talk right now before 2026. There will be one more episode after this, but whether or not that's with Julian or not, we don't know yet. That's the kind of blessing about it. We'll maneuver and pivot different ways. But to finish this off, Julian, I want you to talk some sense into some real conversations with these guys before we head out. Like, what is it that they should be focused on going into 2026? And what's one thing that you could give them to walk into 2026, as a young man?
For sure. Well, the biggest thing that I would say is that oftentimes people think like, oh, New Year's resolution. So they're going to start January 1st, 2026. No, start now. Like, start now. Like, nothing is promised. So you waiting until 2026, there's still time on the clock. Like, it's not like 2026 comes and it's like a whole new reset.
Yeah.
Life continues to go. So why are you going to start on the 1st? That's a few weeks from now. It's like, no, nothing is promised. So start now. Start tomorrow. Whatever your aspirations are, start journaling them. Notate them down. I want to do this by 2 days from now. I want to do this from a week now. Now you're going into 2026 already like
you're ahead of the game.
Momentum. Yeah. So that's the main thing that I would say is this whole, in the new year I'm gonna do this. What are you waiting? That means this time that you have is almost like I can waste this time.
Yeah.
What? No, it's still time. That's like we hooping in a game and somebody's like, oh, we have another quarter left. Oh, so you're gonna wait to hoop in the 4th?
No.
You gonna wait to play in the 9th inning?
I hope not.
Like, no, that's how you lose. So it's like, no, play now. Start playing now. That's the advice that I would give. Start now. Start playing now. When you wake up in the morning, start.
That's facts, bro.
It's that simple. Just start now.
I love that. Start now, guys. Again, thankful for every single one of you guys that have been watching, tuning in for the last year. And like Julian says, let's keep going. Let's be great and stay consistent with everything that you're doing. I'll talk to y'all. Love you. We out.